Alright, game number 3 against Test Pig, a shaman. I guess, you know, you gotta get your cosmetics tested and stuff like that. He's your guy, or your pig. Okay, obviously Fairy Dragon's great 2-drop. Fireball's unlikely that we want to play it on 4, so I'm going to drop both of these, actually. Try to get a 3 or another 2. Okay, well, could be worse. And there we have an Arcane Intellect. If we have no reason to suspect a threat on turn 3, we can play that. Get some card advantage back. Okay, well, good news is he didn't coin anything out, so we'll play our dragon. And ideally he would totem here. And then we can probably play Arcane Intellect. But that seems unlikely. Oh, yeah, he's looking at it. No, coin. Golem. So that's good. Basically, it forces us to waste our turn to counter that. Because the Golem would kill our 3-2, and then it spawns a 2-1, which you have to Fire Blast. The other option is to ignore the Golem and attack him for 3, but the risk there is if he gets a taunt of some kind, then the Golem remains on the board for a while. I'm torn on this one. I think I'm an intellect. And then attack. Since this can't be targeted by spells... well, there's the taunt I talked about. Oh, well. Okay, so we got 4. I could Brewmaster, which technically counters both of those, but it gets rid of our 3-2. So I think the play is to ping this and Mirror Image. Not attack with that. The risk is a Forked Lightning is now possible. Oh man. He got 25% chance to get the one totem that would save his guy, and he got it. That sucks. So, turns out, just due to luck, that was the wrong play. Alrighty, well, we could Blizzard, but we'd only get one actual card. This would be at 1 health. We can't ping it this turn, which means we have to ping it next turn, and then it would spawn a 2-1. On turn 6, we could play the Mage, though, rather than ping the 2-1. Oh, no, we couldn't. We could play a 4, so Brewmaster. That'd be alright. I'll do that, then. But usually you want to get 2 for 1 on your clears, like Blizzard. So we got 2 minions, but not 2 actual cards. Wow, he has all these weak taunts, which are just, you know, just good enough in this situation. Ooh, Sunwalker might change our plans. Let me think. No, I don't think so. Alright, Fairy Dragon served me well enough. He's done 6 damage. Now we Brewmaster and spawn the other 2-1. Harpy. So that's probably Fireball target. He doesn't have any other. He doesn't have any more mana, so he might Ancestral Spirit something. Ancestral Healing, rather. So that's a funny play, but I understand the idea behind it. Obviously, he wants to prevent our panda from killing his harpy, but it doesn't matter. So let's see, we have 7 mana, so we could play 2, 5, 7. And that would clear everything on the board. Did I calculate that right? Yes, I did. We could also Ice Lance that, but it would just prevent it from dying. I don't think it's worth it. So take note that that was actually a card. That Wrath of Air Totem had an Ancestral Healing into it. So that was a really good exchange we got there. Hex? Yep, Hex. I'm not surprised. And wow. That I'm surprised about. Like, I can understand hexing a 5/4, especially if you don't have anything to play. But a 3/2? I mean, it's not even a great 3/2. Okay, well, let's see. We have 2 taunts. I would like to avoid playing the Ooze and the Owl because those are good for reactionary cards. But I cannot play a 3 and a 6. So I think I'll play the one without taunt. That may give us some advantage with our spell damage. And then ping him for 1. And then the next turn, we can play 6 in a Mirror Entity. And we're late enough into the game that Mirror Entity might actually be pretty good value. Depending, obviously, what he decides to play.
What you want?
More of those weak taunts. I don't understand.
The light protects me.
Alright, well. I think plans have changed. Have they? I was going to say plans have changed. I think they have. But perhaps not as I meant that. So Cone of Cold, Mirror Entity, Hero Power, float 1 mana. Cone of Cold will break the shield, put that to 1, we Hero Power this to kill it. Our 4/7 kills his 2/4, or 2/3 at the time. And then this will be frozen, and it will die to Hero Power next turn, if we care enough to do so. Oh wait, we have a spell power out, this does 2. Haha. Never mind, so instead we ping this. I forgot about that. That's nice. Mirror Entity still.
Don't blink.
And so now we cleared the board. Cleared the board for 1 card. Which is amazing. A 3 mana card, no less. These pro frog protectors. Look at them. What's he hanging on to there? I can't even tell. Is that his gear or something that he lost? Okay, so he played a ghoul first, which we got copied. So he did play around the Mirror Entity, which was smart. Now, let's see. So if we want, we could hit that and ping it to kill it. We could silence that. Make it a 2/3. And probably play our Sunwalker. Since he's already used 2 Hex, I doubt he has another one. You never know, but I doubt it. Actually, I don't think I need to silence. Because if he attacks this with this guy, we'll just ping it and kill it. And instead I can just kill this thing right now. In fact, I can just ping this now, rather than float the mana. I could also Ice Lance it, but that seems wasteful right now. I'm not worried about it with 3 taunts on the board.
Feel the power of the wings.
Ah, interesting. So he's going to kill both our frogs. Which is funny, but I guess you got to do what you got to do. No, frogs, I'll never forget you. Okay. We still have no spell damage on in hand, so I don't see any reason to try to save this guy. He's obviously the best to send into that. Well, actually, that's not true. It doesn't matter so much. This guy has to kill one of these, so he will lose his Divine Shield. The other option would be to keep one of these active and kill a totem, but that doesn't seem worth it.
I wonder.
And then we'll play a 5 and a 3 and hero power him.
Squire, attend me.
Ready, sir.
I think I'll hero power the totem so I can do it again the next turn. And I don't have to waste the minion damage, theoretically. So cards in hand, he's got 3. We will have 4, plus we have 4. Well, 3 on the board actually, 3 cards. So things look pretty good. You would need pretty massive legendary or something. That's not going to do it.
Feel the power of the wings.
What? 3 wind speakers? That's crazy, guy. Alright, well, it looks like Kodo can chomp on a totem. And since we are going to hero power the other one, it doesn't matter which he gets.
I wonder.
Yeah. I think that's fine. I'm tempted to send these guys into the 3/2s. Not let my big guys get low on health, but I'd basically just be playing around one
If you insist.
lightning storm chance. Which is possible, certainly. Warlock Tide Hunter, not great. Alright, he's at 19. We can do, let's see, 4, 7, 9, 13, 19. Okay, I think that's it. Hope I calculated that right. 4, 7, 9, 13, yeah, 19.
Justice shall prevail.
Wow, and our hero power for 20. So, we're good. Yeah, well that was pretty clean cut, I would say, overall. We never had to use our silence, never had to use our swamp ooze. Poor guy didn't have any weapons. And I would say overall that opponent's card quality was subpar, which hindered them a lot. You know, the 2/2 taunt, the 3/3 taunt, stuff like that. Like, I understand the desire to get taunt, but in most situations it's just not worth the lesser strength of those particular minions. Alright, game 4 against Pathapa.
You asked for it.
Pathapa. I don't know. Who's a warrior? Wow. Spells everywhere. I can't justify keeping any of these, to be quite honest, in the early game. Much better. I mean, obviously you want a mix of minions and spells, but particularly the early game, you're trying to get board control, and you can't use fireballs and blizzards and stuff. So we could coin out our apprentice. Let's see, does he have anything as a warrior? He could axe it, so I'm going to also play Mirror Image for 0. The risk is cleave, but next turn we'd play Fairy Dragon anyway. Whereas if he has a Fiery War Axe in hand, it protects our apprentice. That's funny.
I'm sorry.
I feel the need to apologize. Now if he plays a second cleave, then I won't apologize, because that'll suck. But anyway, we got pretty lucky with the cleave targets there, but... Really?
My magic
Now I have to threaten him.
you of
That sucks. So he's one card up. He got a 1-for-1 trade on his first cleave, but he got a 2-for-1 on his second. I'll be honest. Usually you're not going to face someone with 2 cleaves in their opening hand. So that's just unfortunate, really. What are you going to do? Okay, so I think the play here is attack this, and then Brewmaster to get our Divine Shield back. Yes. Theoretically, the Brewmaster doesn't die this. On the other hand, you could also argue that the Brewmaster would have killed this anyway, because it's a 3/5 by default. But this gives us the potential opportunity to kill it with other mechanics, such as Gone Cold. Okay, there's his axe, so our panda dies. Unless he plays really risky, which I would not recommend. He should send his Senjin and axe the panda. No. Wow, he's not going to. Yeah, so I don't think that's a smart play. I guess the assumption here is we don't have any way to kill this, but that's a, you know, that's a really bad assumption with a minion on the board. A minion that's more powerful than these. So if we had a silence, we could get rid of the taunt and kill that. Obviously, if we had a frostbolt or pretty much any direct damage, we could kill it. Yeah, you're going to crush me. Anyway, the clear play is to Kodo here. And then kill that. So our Kodo is already one for one. Maybe he'll get another kill. And the Warsong Commander, well, it gives his minions charge, which is really strong. So it's a top priority to get rid of that. We have some pretty good board control on the board, or in our hand. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. Nope, that's a bad play. I can guarantee you that's a bad play. He spent a card when he could have just axed it. He would take 5 damage, obviously, but Instead, he lost 2 cards to our Brewmaster. Because we already killed the Senjin. Senjin didn't kill anything. And then he hit me for 3 again. Like, he's playing super aggressive, but he doesn't have the cards to back it up, right? He has 3 cards right now. He'll have a 4th when he draws. So, yeah. I don't think it's going so well. Now, the question is how best to deal with the Kodo. If we hit it with our Kodo and ping it, it would be at 1 health. But I think instead I will play Crusader and ping it. I don't see a need to Cone of Cold a single minion right now. And I'll attack him. I don't want to attack into this. I want him to attack me if he wants to. You know, presumably like for a Whirlwind or Cleave combination or something like that. Ah, Abomination. So that's pretty good here. No. He doesn't know what to do, which is funny. I like this. Obviously, he's considering that this will do 2 damage. As you can see, when it dies, it deals 2 damage to all characters. So all minions, all players, all that stuff. So he was trying to decide whether he wanted his Kodo to die from the explosion or not. And whether he wanted my Kodo to die as the same token. So anyway, obviously my Kodo's dead. But this thing should survive. So we ping this for 1, Kodo goes into it. His 2 minions die. So we get a 2 for 1. Basically 2 cards here for our 1 Kodo. Actually, our Kodo killed something already. And this survives. It leaves us with 5 mana. With which to, I guess, Kodo. But not destroy anything, which sort of sucks. Yeah. I mean, my hand is all about control, so I'd rather have the other minion out. Frankly. Then we can keep doing some damage to him if we need to control the board. The only thing I'm really scared of is a super strong minion, legendary or something, since I don't have a polymorph. So, our Scarlet Crusader got a 1 for 1 essentially. Alright, again, no reason to play any of my freezes, so we'll just play the charge. Ping him. Do 9 damage. Another Warsong Commander. And he's going to charge out Mind Control attack. And Murlocs. Murlocs everywhere! Yep. Again, you're playing too aggressive. You don't have the cards to back it up. So that's another probably bad play. I mean, obviously, he couldn't kill this Kodo with what he had able to attack that turn, which was 4 damage. But he could have played that differently. He could have attacked the Kodo with the 3/3 and the 2/1, killed it, and then our 5/2 would be forced to die to this if we wanted to trade minions. Whereas in this situation, he's banking on my Kodo being unable to survive. So, plays here, let's see.
I wonder.
Quite a few. But I think the best play is Blizzard. And ping this to get rid of the charge. And that'll be at 1. Oh, no, I lied. That's not true. I'd like to get a minion out,
Are you ready for
which
this?
means I have to cut him cold. Well, yeah. And then kill this with my Kodo. I can't afford to leave the Warsong Commander active. But now we have 2 3 damage blizzards if we need it, which is insane. So again, our Kodo got at least a 2 for 1. Fireball for 7, pretty strong. So we're going to ping him. And no reason not to fireball him. Excuse me. Oops, I have to end my turn. Got distracted by my sneeze. I'm allergic to board control. I don't know. I'm being a dork. Alright, Shield Block's a good card to draw there. Heals him for 5 and he gets to draw another card, which late game is really good. Whatever it wasn't worth playing, which is interesting. So with armor, he'll be at 9 against our 7 potential damage. So he still hangs on for another round unless we draw something. What was that card? Silence? No? He keeps targeting his hero with it, so I can't... What? This is fascinating. Ah, I see.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
That's a peculiar... I mean, it just gives me more potential damage, basically. So, Blizzard kills both those. I should have drawn first, actually. That was a mistake. But it probably wouldn't have changed the play, and it turns out it doesn't. So the reason swapping the health of that was strange is that... Well, now I guess I see why he did it. He did it so that he could use the Cleric to buff his Alchemist. But, again, the risk is that this is just one more damage that I can do. Brawl. Sorry, guy. Doesn't matter how it went out, you still lost. Blizzards. Yeah, well, I was pretty dominated again. Oh, we were down to 15, but that's only because he just attacked so much and ignored our minions. And that was the main fault there, I would say. Against a mage, you have to be really conscious, I can't speak, of the potential for spells. You know, what is it possible that they can play this turn? What are they likely to play? That kind of stuff. Because if you're going to play aggressive and ignore their minions, especially, they will maybe punish you for it. Not to suggest I don't fall into that trap all the time myself.